back to another episode of the Jagged Edge. This is Ian here along with Chris.
Oh, yeah, yep.
I think
That's me.
Oh, okay, good. Make sure.
Hi, everybody.
Hey. Thank you for tuning back in. I guess you could, call this the pre-E3 hype.
Yeah, that's starting to happen.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel it. We still got some time. Now, this isn't kicking in till early June, but we're already seeing some rumors fly around, a few things buzz around, maybe some possible early leaks, some early announcements, and we definitely want to get to all of that. But as always, we still have a lot of news on some of the upcoming movies and shows and all that good gravy. From Star Wars to a couple other cool trailers we saw this week, it's beat doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't. Well, but for some it does.
True.
That's a segue for
I
you.
like it. No, I like it. I like it. That's for Inhumans. It's done. It's canned.
It's official.
ABC has canned Inhumans. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. renewal, though, that's yet to be announced. It's still TBA. But so check it out. Right up top on Friday, which this is when they talk about which shows they'd be renewing or which they were not. No surprise. Inhumans is done.
Trash. Garbage.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, because, if you think back, Inhumans was to be a movie. It makes me wonder what the MCU would have been like, what Infinity War would have been like.
Same.
Had they followed that. What didn't we get? Of course, they may not have had everything as developed as they did going into the last year or so, but it was supposed to be one of the last movies going into Infinity War.
Yeah.
But what we got for Inhumans, I tried, man. I really did. I tried to watch it. I couldn't even get to all of the end, and the last episode, I just don't even care. it really was very bad. The story was okay, but everything was just so cheaply and just so you can tell it was done cheap and it was done quick, and it was just so bad. It was so bad.
That's a bummer.
There was foundations for something good, but it was just it felt like someone's high school project that they did at the last minute. When they got the idea of the project, they had some really good concepts, but they just waited till the end to put it together.
We've been looking for this link for Marvel shows into MCU movies at large more, and this is another really cool shot to do it, but it just didn't pan out.
Nope.
So,
No. What is even more of a shame, though, is what's looking equally as bad now as far as production value is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, no.
It's, last week's episode was like, it was reminiscent, as far as the production value of the show used to have, to what I saw last week was reminiscent of the old 70s Star Trek show. And at its end.
Yeah.
It was really bad. I'm watching, I'm like, it's fine. We're near the end of the season. I get it, but it looked really bad. It kind of took you out of it. At least took me out of what's happening in the show, which, it's kind of funny because ABC announced their entire lineup for what they're renewing and what they're canceling, except for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Next week is the season final. I thought that was interesting. I made sure to catch. I watched the whole episode later on in the week, but I caught the end of it when it was on, when it was broadcasted last night, to see, are they going to say series finale or final? Are they going to say season final? They actually did say season finale. They didn't say series finale, which is not really all that telling, but it can be. Obviously, if it said series final, well, okay, there it goes.
Right.
But it is the title of next week's episode is The End. It can work as a series final if it wants. I don't really see them going forward with it. The ratings for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are really bad. They're averaging a 1.65.
Oof.
To give you an indication just as to where that is, comparison, season 1 was an average of over 8.5. Yeah.
Man.
It's really bad. I enjoy the show. And there, a lot of people talk about, well, how many people were really going to be fans and how many people were just watching because it was coming off of Avengers.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. People are not watching because they've caught on to the fact that these shows are not going to intertwine with the movies.
Yep.
That's why they're not watching.
Yep. And as far as capitalizing on that, we've seen,
which they haven't.
Which they, of course, they haven't. Oh, but we've seen rights issues and things like that, collide in the past, like the whole issue with Sony and Spider-Man and Marvel and all that. In cases where the whole rights issues don't play it, what do you think some of the biggest hesitation that keeps this stuff from actually happening?
We talked about this in the past because the head of the TV portion of the MCU, which is also in charge of the comics, has a poo face when it comes to Kevin Feige. They don't like each other.
Yeah,
that's why.
Right.
That's why. Studio politics.
It's unfortunate, but
it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Get your act together. Your show is in the shitter. Well, let me rephrase. Your second show being in the shitter because of this.
Man.
It's ridiculous. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I mean, I would have done different things at times with the concept of the show. It's fine, though. There's some times when the show is really corny, like too corny. I deal with it because there's some good stuff in there. We've talked about this in the past about how they lost Mockingbird. Your only legit Avenger, and who is often in S.H.I.E.L.D. as well in the comics as well as in the Avengers, and how they lost that trying to get him a spinoff that didn't happen.
Right.
They wrote it in a way where they couldn't come back.
Ugh.
God. But ever since I would have to say, Avengers 2. There was some good tie-in, and then Civil War happened a couple years ago, and they mentioned the Accords, but that's been about it. They're not even going to show. This isn't even going to tie into Infinity War.
Ah, come on!
Right. Unless at the end of next week's show they all just disappear. That would be hilarious.
That's why it's the end.
That would work. Take him out with a bang.
Oh man.
And then I don't know. I mean, they couldn't do that, especially if they were going to renew them, because then they'd have to wait until next summer to bring the show back, and that would be awesome. Then, like, they all reappear.
It would.
But yeah, and then they have like a 6-episode season.
Oh well. I like your version. Shoot,
where they all just disappear.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They all turn to dust.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. I can understand it. Like, probably a lot of people just don't watch because, like, well, they're not going to really do anything with this.
Yeah.
And you're right, they didn't. They've done some interesting stuff. The Ghost Rider stuff was awesome.
Yeah.
The life model decoys, that's been okay. But yeah, overall, the action's been decent for the most part.
So,
can you hear that humming behind me?
No.
Okay, that's good. Never mind.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not what it should be. That's why it's doing bad, and people have caught on to that. And you have fans like myself who have genuine interest in this show, but still, I'll criticize the hell out of it. But but that was the thing. People wanted a weekly dose of the MCU.
Yep.
Are you technically getting that? Yes, technically. Are you really getting that? No, you're not.
Quick question. Didn't you mention that they're in space right now, right?
They were. They haven't been.
Okay. So the whole Earth destroyed thing, is that still a thing, or is it?
No, they've gone back to present day. They're not in the future anymore.
Okay. All right.
But they're trying to prevent the future from happening.
All right. Man, now I really want to see the whole dust deal.
Yeah.
Irony of that. Anyway. All right. We'll see where it goes.
I almost just just pull the plug on this one too. Pull the plug.
Yeah.
You're not going to do what this show should have been about. You haven't done it in 3 years.
Yeah. Chances given, not taken.
I mean, there's been some good stuff that's happened on the show. Coulson's been awesome,
Yeah.
for the most part. When they cut off his, I don't care, it happened a few years ago. When they cut off the lower part of his left arm, that was crazy.
Yeah.
When that happened. There's been some good moments. There's also been some really bad moments. I mean, what can you know how I can explain it? It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe on broadcast TV.
Mm.
It is exactly not how that should have turned out. It's exactly as you thought it would turn out, though.
Sad to hear.
Yeah, it really is.
Especially with someone like Coulson, and that just instantly lends some credibility that a lot of things wouldn't have. So,
right.
Oh well. All right, man.
I get it with expenses and stuff, but you've rendered Iron Man and War Machine so many damn times. You could have had them pop in once or twice.
Right.
You don't need them in there. Get them. I mean, for God's sake, someday when they're in the area, have them come in with a frickin' drink in their hands and record some audio. Robert Downey Jr. Just one time. Just have them record a couple lines. Ham it up. Be Iron Man. Render him in the show. It's all you got to do. Give him a couple $100,000 for it. Whatever he gets paid for that shit now.
This is one thing I've always thought as far as just storytelling. Just narrative, especially when you build a cast this large and a universe this large, when you're so focused on the micro story, one of the most effective things is when you zoom out to remind you that you're part of the larger whole, and that these things and these events are still going on. These characters still exist in this space. Right. We're just looking at an isolated part of it, and when you don't get that, you get kind of lost.
And there's they lay down plenty of groundwork throughout the show to explain to you why they're not a part of the greater stories that are happening in the movies. So it's not that they don't ignore the fact that they're in the same world, but at least not completely. But they don't intertwine. So I mean, I've been bitching about this off and on since we've been recording this show. Just kill it.
Yeah.
Kill it at this point. You're not going to do what you should do. You haven't been doing it in a while. There's been some good stuff. It's been worth watching if you're an MCU fan, but you're never going to get what you should get again. I mean, with 1 week left of this season, no one's going to, the connections to Infinity War have been weak at best. And you're not going to do what you should have been doing. There's absolutely no reason why a worldwide event like what happened in Infinity War does not completely interject itself into this show in every intrusive way that it should.
Yeah, let's go bigger than that. Not just worldwide, universal-wide. I mean,
right.
This is a big deal.
And while that would be probably, do it right in the middle of some huge storyline, some huge cliffhanger. You're about to resolve some major story you've been following all season, and then boom, half the people turn to dust. And while that doesn't do that current story any justice, it does your entire concept justice.
Yes, it does. And I think at the end of the day, that's what's important. So, right on.
That being said, Cloak and Dagger's coming in a month on your favorite channel.
Yeah, it is. Like I was telling you beforehand, I don't have a lot of steam coming into this, which is weird. I'm not chomping at the bit excited. I want to check this one out. I'm gonna see what it's like, what the pace feels like. It's had a pretty good reception early on. Yeah. From everything I'm hearing. So, hey.
But it's still freeform.
Yeah.
And it's still ABC freeform.
Yeah.
Let's keep that in mind too. And it's cable.
Right. All those strikes.
It's got a lot. I know it's got a lot against it.
Yeah, it does.
But I've seen some footage of it. I have not seen the full first episode. They have done some previews at that at some cons, and people are saying it's awesome. I've seen some stuff. I've not seen Cloak and Dagger in Cloak and Dagger action yet, but
right.
And I bet you we probably won't see that for a few episodes. I worry because it is based, they are teenagers, and it's looking like it's going to try to be based on your average angsty freeform show. So
that's a concern.
Good luck, Ian.
Thanks.
I'll be listening to I will be watching it and then listening to your review of at least the first episode, because we've agreed to do the premiere, and we'll see from there.
Deal. Deal. And hopefully I'm not a bitter sailor coming off of Legion, because the end of Legion pretty much intersects with the start of that.
Yeah.
So
It's just such a shame, though. I'm just going to say this real quick. I mean, with something like the MCU, which has revolutionized just entertainment in this,
yeah,
obviously in movies. I mean, and doing something that nothing like this has been done for decades. The last time was the Universal Monsters, which they tried rebooting in went down in glorious burning. But what is that? Blaze of Glory with the mummy.
yeah.
I mean, come on. You control all this stuff. Get over your stupid little Hollywood garbage with each other. Get over it and understand the fact that you're leaving millions upon millions upon millions and millions and millions and millions of fans and dollars
Yep.
on the table.
This is the first time in so long you basically have not just a cast, but a story, but characters, but a theme that just prints money.
Now, all that being said, let me say this. I heard in the last week that, and this isn't going to be spoilers, the writers for Infinity War actually did have a version of the script that included a bunch of the Netflix characters interjecting.
No way.
They did, yes, but they decided there was too many characters overall, and they didn't want to go that route. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
But bring them in Avengers 4.
Oh man, that's pretty hype.
Right. So they actually thought about it. They actually did write a version of the script that did that. I heard it was only the Netflix characters. I don't know why you wouldn't bring Coulson in, but
Huh. Well, hey, it's on their mind.
right.
So
So they are thinking about it.
cool. I'll settle for that. That's with
I won't settle for that.
well, for now. I mean, we got Luke Cage coming up. What else? Isn't there Daredevil?
Daredevil sometime this year. They haven't
Yeah.
announced when yet, but yeah, we got Luke Cage and Daredevil yet this year. I don't know if we're going to see another Iron Fist.
I don't know either. I think for now I'm gonna just pull a Thanos and sit back in my nice little green pasture and pick a fence.
Yeah. Well, Luke Cage comes out next month? Is that in June? I think that is in June.
Yeah.
All right.
Good times.
Looking forward to that. The first season was awesome.
Yeah, once I finally got caught up.
Did you watch it all now?
I did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. No, it's worth the ride. Just like Daredevil. The rest is worth watching.
Then why are you even sitting back like Thanos? You should be sitting out in front of your barber shop. That's what I would do. I'm like, no, that's okay. You can hang out there, Thanos.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit in front of the barbershop and just watch the events of the day in downtown Brooklyn.
Oh man, good stuff. Well, I'll tell you who's not going to be watching the events of the day. Who's going to be making the events of the day? The Predator.
No, he's not.
I wish.
No, he's not.
First trailer released for this with a couple of little throwbacks here, some homages to the original Predator trailer.
If that's what you want to call him, I've got other words for him.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, a homage is a homage. I didn't say it was a successful homage, but
So obviously you're kind of getting a feel for what I thought of this trailer.
yeah,
What did you think of this trailer?
it was. This is from the director of Iron Man 3, right?
Yes, they give that plenty of time.
Yeah. The whole action blow up, like my worry about this off the start is they've taken away the whole dread vibe of Predator. One thing that I loved about the original movie was you didn't see it for a long time, kind of like Alien, and you didn't know exactly what you were dealing with.
Did you watch that? If you watch this trailer from the Fox, from the official release of it, they will give you a link to the original Predator trailer. Did you watch that?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
How awesome is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I wanted to add. I just love old school trailers.
Oh, same. Back in the day when we were still in a world where, you know.
Beyond, before that.
Yeah, even before. You just had the epic announcements, Arnold Schwarzenegger in. I love it.
At some point in all the action or sci-fi, you always had that one sound,
Yeah, yeah.
sound in the trailer. You just
Uh,
knew.
oh man, yeah. But no, that was really slick. The way they set that up, they had that. I mean, of course, I had to take a look at that after seeing this. Maybe it calmed me down a little bit.
Well, yeah. So I mean, it's funny. So watching this, I want to watch the original Predator, but I don't want to watch this.
No, right. That's the thing. And what I'm hinting at is my instant worry is that you take away a lot of that magic of the original Predator, the whole dread, like the hunt theme, and turn it into a big shoot 'em up. I I feel you could do that with just about any sci-fi alien style flick.
I think there's
certain name.
still a chance for this movie, but this trailer is shit.
I'm worried.
Yeah, I'm very worried. There's nothing in this trailer that I didn't see to be like, oh man, that just ruined, that fact that that's even in there. No. But I'm really worried because there's a lot of potential of, oh man, this looks like it's going to suck. What? They're trying to be hybrids. They're trying to evolve with every planet. Wait, what?
Yeah, no.
What?
No.
What?
No. If
And the kid. I mean, that's a neat little concept. The kid with I got a toy spaceship and he's actually moving a real spaceship. Okay,
yeah.
that's something that you think in your head but never comes past.
Right.
Concept. That was pretty dumb. I don't. Yeah, I mean, the fact that it looks like he's going to be taking on assassins and military. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't see. Here's the thing. This is intended to be in the same world. This is a continuation of the canon. Which, by the way, if people are confused on Predator canon, it does go Predator, Predator 2, Predators. Which Predators is very ambiguous as to when it takes place, except for it takes place after the first one.
Right.
Which, if for those who don't know, the concept of Predators was actually the original concept for the sequel. I'm glad they actually made that. I really like that.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
The Alien versus Predator stuff, not canon.
Gotcha.
Not canon. So, which they're fun on their own.
Right. But
so this is supposed to be canon. This is going to be like a soft reboot. They're not taking away the stuff that happened in the past, but obviously this is intended to reboot the series. I don't know. Is it because is it Arnold Schwarzenegger? Is that why? Because I mean, they tried this with Terminator, and they're going to try again.
Yeah.
The fact that he's in these movies, they can't. No, I don't really think that's it. I think it's a coincidence.
Right.
But. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I've really been looking forward to this because
yeah,
the last movie we got was Predators, and that was great.
Yeah.
Love that movie. The scene between the Predator and the what do you call it? Yakuza. Yeah, the Yakuza guy. That is great. The sword fight's awesome. The movie in itself, but what I like about that is that it definitely stays in the roots of the original movie, but at the same time, it does evolve the Predator race in a very natural and appropriate way, considering the context. This looks like it's trying to push things in a new direction.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like. I mean, I loved the fact that because you always kind of wondered, because you don't really see much of these Predators. And then in the Predators movie, it's like, okay, there's different races, there's different tribes. This all kind of makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I was worried when they started looking at the whole tribal theme because I remember coming out of Predator 1 thinking that this was just like an isolated event or just a one-off or a one-time we'd see. And my worry was, introducing that would kind of take us too far away from that theme. Would really kind of remove some of the awesome creeping action that we had in the original. But, it didn't. I think some of the first flashes of that was Predator 2. Danny Glover, if I'm remembering right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's
getting too old for this shit.
Yeah, he is. When he's...
for the last 35 years.
When he's on the ship at the very end, and you get that flash of, this is really like more of a hunter society instead of, one off. And that really, I think, laid the ground well for the rest of it. But no, it worked. And I thought that that whole transition worked well. So
Not the best movie, but as far as again, I think another appropriate evolution of the Predators, and yeah, where what's behind what they're doing and everything.
right.
No, I agree. Yeah, this looks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. What do you? What do
Not
you do?
feeling it.
No, I'm really not.
Not feeling
I'm
it.
really not.
Oh, that's fair.
I think you were actually looking forward to this one more than I was.
Yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, when you talk Predator and Alien, I mean, that instantly gets my attention. Those were just some of my favorites coming up as far as for like sci-fi action and everything. And man, you know what? It would really suck to come out of 2018 and just say 2 for 2, man. I mean, well, Alien, man, you and we pinned a lot of hopes on that. Coming out of following up Prometheus and then Predator. Dang it. Oh well.
Was that this year?
Or was that the end of last year?
That was last.
That was
year.
last year.
Yeah, that was last year's trash.
Still, then we could say we've come 2 years.
Right. No. Well, yeah. They continue. They continuously try to revive these great franchises, and they continue to fail.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Yeah.
It's like watching Warner Brothers try to do the DC.
That's a different bag of worms. Oh boy.
I can at least appreciate the fact that they've decided that, hey, you know what, we're just gonna go hang out in our corner for a while.
Yeah, just sit over here and just take a smoke. Just contemplate life. Tell you what though,
man, we got things in the oven.
Hey,
we'll see you later.
I'm still gonna check out Wonder Woman 2. So.
Oh no, yeah, I'm gonna watch them. Crash or burn or do well.
Yeah. Cheetah. I think Cheetah's gonna be cool. It's a good rivalry.
Sure.
All right.
I have nothing invested in it.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm still looking forward to not watching Bumblebee at the end of the year.
Oh please.
And watching Aquaman.
Oh man, you mean roughshod Aquaman?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Sweet.
My man.
Oh man. How about all right. What about the stuff for Star Wars revealed? We got the we had a couple things here. I know we had the first reactions for the Solo movie, but also at the Solo premiere, there's a bit of an announcement for the Disney streaming show that's going to be coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be about, was it 7 years after the Battle of Endor?
Yep.
And this is going to be the second TV show that got announced by Lucasfilm recently to take place in this whole time period that's pretty much been untouched. So I know you still got the cartoon TV, The Resistance. This is taking place about around that time frame too, but it's a lot closer to Episode 7.
Right. So, but this has been the largest gap that we've had for quite a while now.
Yeah. Sweet. You keep up with the as far as the additional shows, the streaming, the some of the animated versions we've seen for Star Wars and all that. You excited for this? I mean,
I am excited for this. One because it's John Favreau, if I'm pronouncing that right. Favreau.
You got it.
He's doing it, so I'm excited for that. He is a genuine huge Star Wars fan. He's not a Ryan Johnson Star Wars fan.
There it is.
So I'm excited because of that. It's interesting that they're gonna. I mean, this gap for a while now, especially because up until the new trilogy, we haven't seen anything past Return of the Jedi in 30-some years.
Right.
They went from trilogy to prequels, and then they've been filling in the gaps from the prequels up till Episode 4.
Right.
Then we finally, we got The Force Awakens. We've gotten some books and comics. There's been some stuff, but they're really. They've got 2 shows lined up to take place during this 30-some year gap between the original trilogy and the new trilogy,
right.
And there's a lot there. There's a lot of cool things that have happened. There's a lot of room to do some creative stuff, and I'm really looking forward to this. We'll have the live action. That's very specific that they say 7 years
Yeah.
um, after the Battle of Endor. You know, to kind of place that, I think at this point Luke is looking for Jedi artifacts. I don't know if he's taken on Ben yet as his Padawan.
Hmm.
Ben was born 1 year after the Battle of Endor, so he's alive.
Right.
Ben Solo's alive. Yeah, but I think Luke at this point is doing a lot of traveling more than anything else. He hasn't started his Jedi Temple yet.
Right.
You're rebuilding after the Empire and obviously this huge war that's happened.
Right.
There's a lot of cool stuff that can happen.
Oh yeah.
I'm more excited for this than the Resistance, although the Resistance could be cool as well. And that's, I mean, just because again, who's behind that? Who, we've seen several years of cartoons now. Actually 10 years of cartoons from them. So that's going to probably be solid too. So yeah, lots
Cool.
of good Star Wars stuff coming. I'm glad to
And
say that. I haven't been able
good.
to say that in about half a year now.
You need it. You need it.
Yeah.
And then we had the Solo premiere. There was some initial reactions. We already got out for that. Not going too specific. Most are saying this is
Well,
pretty.
no, they can't go specific.
Of
right
course,
now.
they can't. But most are saying that this is overall really fun. But the first act is a bit of a mess, kind of like how Rogue One was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
You remember the first act for Rogue One,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a fucking mess.
Yeah. But,
It's like, hey, let's spend 45 minutes establishing everything.
and yet still that was a solid film.
It is a great movie. In
Yeah.
fact, every time I watch it now, I like it more.
Yep. Yep.
The Battle of Scarif is, oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great.
But
It might be the best star battle for Star Wars yet. It's really good.
good stuff. Calling it early. It's, to me at least, it's looking more like Lando is really going to steal the show here. I'm really excited to see a young Lando. A lot of what he dealt with, meeting up with Han, and everything else he was surrounded with. Because we get Lando in Empire Strikes Back, and we're sort of just thrust into his world, and then we're shortly. We get a little bit more of that, a little bit more exposition. He shows up in Return of the Jedi and all that, but that's it. And then I remember the first time I saw him, I'm like, I want to know more about that guy. So, and here we go.
It's funny because and George Lucas has gotten shit for this for forever about how he keeps editing and adding stuff into his versions of the original trilogy. But the stuff that he did to Cloud City in that area was probably some of the best additions. As a child, I really didn't understand what I was looking at with this whole Cloud City and the things that he's done with that sense and just some of those minor additions and edits into Empire Strikes Back really blew up that whole area.
Right. For the best. For the best, then.
Right, for the best. That's some of the best stuff that he did to add on. Which reminds me, we've never talked about this. I want to get your official stance on this. So, Ghost Anakin at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
What's your preference? The original or using Hayden Christensen?
Oh, that's a really good question. I'm going to, right here, make it nice and easy for you. The original.
Really?
Yeah. And I say that because I understand the relation of both. There's this idea of a ghost sort of reflecting you at like I don't know, maybe at more of the height of your strength or something like that, or maybe a slightly more youthful version or whatever. Oh, and then there's Yoda, who's just perpetual old and perpetual wisdom. I get that, but my reason is I thought that represented his journey in a more complete fashion. He had his years as Anakin Skywalker, as a Jedi, before bowing to the dark side, before becoming horribly mangled, scarred, and living in a breathing suit of armor for the longest. And the end of that, sort of bringing him out of all that, I have a hard time reconciling just showing old Anakin after all that, like the one that we saw from the prequel episodes. To me, it's a little more complete, showing the slightly more aged one. I just like that better.
I mean, I'm supposed to say that because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I
Right.
don't think so, though. I like the edit. I like the Hayden version.
Interesting.
Yep. I feel that is more appropriate because at that point, that's when he was still Anakin, and he was Anakin up until he turned into Darth Vader, and he was never old as Anakin.
Right.
His journey as Anakin ended there, and when Darth Vader died, that released. I would say them as a whole, but you'd never get an Anakin ghost until that point.
Right.
Now that being said, what I think they should have done is, this was concept art for the new trilogy. I think for The Last Jedi, at one point there was going to be an Anakin ghost, and it was kind of a mixed hybrid of Anakin and Darth Vader.
See, right there. There you go.
That's what they should
There you
have
go.
done.
There you go.
And it's not. If George Lucas was still around, I'm sure that we'd get the latest version of Return of the Jedi would have that, as he would edit it once again.
Yeah. No, I think you're right in the money for ideally what would be awesome if we did see. I'm all about the more comprehensive journey and showing
Right.
all that and what that means. But but no, it's interesting because there's a case both ways. I mean, you just stated it pretty clear about the idea of Anakin and his walking the path of Jedi, where that stopped and why he should be represented like that, as opposed to the others. So fair enough. Fair enough. So, all right, stance is made.
Boom, and I'm right.
Yeah, in your dreams.
No, I think it's kind of interesting though, because I believe the mythology of it is that people who go to the dark side cannot form Force ghosts.
Interesting.
So yeah, that at least at some point was canon. If it's not canon now, one of the advantages of following the light side is that after death, you become part of the Force in a
Right.
way where you can still interact and interject yourself, where the dark side cannot.
Yeah, and regardless of where that stands, I mean, we obviously had there was a whole he changed his mind so much at that critical moment, seeing Luke and Palpatine and the way he reacted and what he did. In a way, you could sort of mark that as his return, so to speak.
Well, it makes sense as to why the Sith feared death so much too.
Right, right.
And I mean, Insidious and Plagueis and Sidious were so consumed with, at least, well, Sidious not so much as far as new canon. In old canon, I mean, he had clones and everything, and Plagueis was trying to find a way to beat death, and
Right.
that's why that makes sense as to why that's such a big thing for them. Obviously, because they don't want to lose control of power and everything, but also I can understand a greater fear of death.
I mean, I like it too because I mean, it proves how much more awesome my opinion is. I mean, that idea of feeding back into him sort of picking back up on the light side. All right, boom. That's where you picked up. That's where you died. That's your ghost. Done.
See, I'm right.
well, I know I'm leaving you speechless.
Put a wrapper around it. I'm right.
Now, I already wrapped that, man. It's already trademarked. It's shipped. It's done. You need
So
to just
hot.
you need to just I'm getting my paper bag. I'm leaving. That's all. Paper bag.
All right, I'll finish up the show. What'd you leave here?
That's like that.
Something called Rage 2.
Yeah, on the gaming side. So when we look at Walmart, Target, Kmart, Best Buy, Amazon, look, the common thing we've all done as gamers for so many years is it's like, hey, don't pay attention to the Amazon release date. Wait for the official blah blah blah. Sometimes a store heavily leaks something before the game itself is even out, and it looks like that happened with this. So this is a title from Bethesda. The first game, Rage, was co-developed with id Software back in 2010. This is a first-person shooter. and it looks like that the sequel to this, Rage 2, is on the books. So Walmart had a posting for this up on quite for pre-order yet, but for upcoming releases, and Bethesda caught on to it. They saw it, and on their Twitter they linked it and just responded to it with just one word, "Dude." Then it had another follow-up reply saying, "This is why we can't have nice things." On top of that, they've had a whole I'm about to say art campaign. They've had a whole what seems like a pre-launch campaign, and all these vague hints and the artistic style based off of like the original game, and some of the like telling graffiti and all that stuff that relates to the first one. That's very, very much looking like Rage 2. So it looks like this is going to be announced at E3. We're going to find out very shortly if this actually is the case, but that would indeed be pretty funny if that is the full leak.
You know, this predates internet shopping. All right, you used to be able to find out things about games and such. I mean, there was Armored Core games in the past that I didn't know existed until I saw some official release date paperwork.
Sure.
You know, retailers, I should say, have been spoiling this shit for decades.
Yep.
You'd think they would have caught on to stopping this.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd think. But no, I mean it's an old trend, and it's something that that you still, I think, you watch for and look for even in the age of when we're talking about DLC and going on Steam Shop and grabbing things, and more and more brick and mortar spots are just counting going into GameStop for every release. Not everybody does that. People just catch the download. Heck, I know I didn't go anywhere to get Tekken. I downloaded that on both PS4 and PC. So probably do it for Soul.
Really, you downloaded a game?
Yeah, can you believe it?
That you didn't have to.
Right? What am I doing?
Well, it's only Tekken though, so fuck it.
The salt is real.
It's not salt. It's genuine disdain for recycled shit.
Oh.
Hey, Tekken, the 90s called. They want their gameplay back. Yes, you can say the same for Mortal Kombat, and I'll eat that crow. Except for they did revolutionize it quite a bit.
I was about to say you took my next words out of my mouth. I'm like looking at MK. Jeez.
Yeah, but that's quite different though. There's still a lot of differences to that. Not to mention the fact that they were there at the beginning with Street Fighter revolutionizing this shit, so they get to retread themselves.
All right, they can have their paper back.
They built that foundation.
That's my meat. I found that.
Well, they did though. If Henry Ford was around and he wanted to drive an old Ford, you gonna give him shit for it?
Oh man,
let's rebuild the car I built.
Different spaces, dude. Different spaces. That's what I love. That's what I love about the FGC. You've got your MK crowd, the SF crowd, the Tekken crowd, and like the SoCal people.
Hey, that's not fair. I used to love them all.
And I was about to say, the people that intersect and love them all. And they don't always meet in the middle for everyone, but you do have people who cross-play games like that. There's
I've still yet look. I understand. And following a franchise like Mortal Kombat, which has heavily revolutionized itself as well. I mean, they went back to the basics. They went back to what people loved after going quite a far ways away from it. Which was fine. The gameplay was fine, and that was good for them to do at the time. That being said, I bet you I could pick up Tekken, and it's gonna feel like the same game I was playing 20-some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done little to no. I think you said at one point they did try to veer off a bit from the original formula, but really not much. I mean, the story doesn't make any sense. The gameplay, the gameplay is the same gameplay I was playing so long ago, and maybe part of that's a bit of a compliment, saying, "Look, you perfected this so long ago. Why are you still turning it out?"
Right.
I used to love Tekken. I mean, it was Tekken for a long time, for a very long time.
So what was the death knell for you? What just totally turned you against it?
Because you can. And yes, this is opinion, but in my opinion, I believe a person can tell when a game is a retread
Right.
or when they're actually trying to do something new. I think there's a feel of quality in a product that there was time and effort spent on it, and some of those Tekken games just did not feel that way.
You mean especially some of like the follow-ups and like sequels, like after Tekken 3 and everything, or like
Even basically after Tekken Tag.
yeah. Funny, yeah. I really think you would have loved Tekken Tag 2. Game was
Well,
amazing.
especially if I love Tekken Tag because it's the same damn thing.
The idea, yeah. But I mean, I look at it. I look at it like this: as far as if you're talking mechanics, things like what they've done with while standing movement, what they've done with like chickening reversals, tag assault, tag crash, the Okizeme setups, your rage attacks, the stuff you can do with stage breaks, wall splats, high wall splats. I mean, that's just some of it. Like, I felt all of that has added on to this in a really, really fun way.
Well, here's my question.
Yeah.
All right. Now, is King still in the game or Armored King?
King.
Okay. Can I still do a 10 hit combo slam with King?
Yes, you can.
All right. So props for that.
That's so mean if you don't know how to tech that. And then what is his other one that it ends with
Well, they
that
had multiple.
he did. You remember the death roll? It's
I don't know.
it's like you do it's a couple throws beforehand to chain into it, but then you go into this roll where literally you just start kind of like this cradle roll, just going in this circle, just grinding away your opponent's health. It's crazy. It'll kill you if you don't get out of it. You just die. Like, it's ridiculous. I'll show you a video of it.
Well, my brother was a professional wrestler. He never made it like to WWE or anything. So he loved King. He loved doing that. I was a fan as well, but he was so good at it. I mean that the timing on those because they were grapples was crazy.
That's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
yeah, we'd be playing Tekken 3 and like, oh shit, here he comes. Yeah, I got a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's fair,
But
man. I hear you, but I'll take you up on that at any point. I would love to run you through some of like the current Tekken mechanics and compare that to the past. I really would.
you know what? Let's play Soul Calibur instead.
Deal.
Uh,
Got yourself a deal. All right.
I'll play Yoshimitsu in there.
Yeah. Hey, do we?
Has he been announced? Has he been announced for the new one?
As far as for guest characters, man, I haven't seen him turn up yet. I'm
He's
pretty.
not really a guest character, though. I
Okay,
guess technically he is, but he's been in almost all of them.
yeah, yeah. I'm expecting it. I'm pretty sure for you, by the way, we were talking about this. We were worried about it. But no need to fear. Taki is in Soul Cal 6.
Did they announce my girl?
Yes, she's in.
Did they give me video?
Hold up. You want me to go? I'll go find it. In fact, it
No,
was.
you can go ahead and move on to the next piece. I will find my Taki video.
It was. We sort of skipped over this because it wasn't even this week, to be honest. So I believe it was like last week. But yep, that's the thing. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the next topic while Chris finds the love of his life again. I'm looking at Kickstarter done right. This is for a title upcoming game we have just about to come out here called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and we're actually going to get a game ahead of that that's a prequel called Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Now, this is kind of cool, and the reason why I'm saying this is Kickstarter done right, this whole project was Kickstarter based, and one thing fans were saying a ton in the comments was, hey, it'd be really cool if we had like some kind of 8-bit version of this, or maybe some kind of game extra or something like that. And you know what? The devs heard it and said, granted. So they made an 8-bit style bonus game very much in the feel of Castlevania called Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. That's coming out in, just about 11 days or so from this recording.
Yeah, just a couple weeks now.
Yeah. So that's going to be out first, and then it's the prequel, and then the full game, which is it's kind of like a 2.5D, I guess would be the best way to describe it. The gameplay itself goes 2D, Castlevania-esque, but you've got some really crazy angles and 3D stylistic choices in it, with some nicely rendered 2D assets and all that at 60 frames, looking sharp, runs real smooth as far as the gameplay we've seen. We've actually been seeing this since E3 last year. There was some footage of this posted, and that'll be out right after. But awesome. For some, it's nice to even see a Kickstarter game get off the ground, let alone delivering an extra game just because of a fan request. That's good stuff. So,
okay, so that was interesting. So now let's talk about Taki for a minute. No, she looks good. I'm glad she's in there.
Yeah.
You're dead now, by the way. It's official.
You're dead.
Declared it here, May 12th, 2018.
I never played SoulCal as hard as I did, say, Bloody Roar, Tekken, SF.
Now, right there, I mean, just your selection of fighting games, versus mine, people knew who to take seriously.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, like I was saying, Bloody Roar, Tekken, SF, MVC. Man, let's go.
They should actually probably take you more serious.
Yeah, you never even play. Did you ever get into MVC?
No.
Oh man, MVC.
I played old school old school Street Fighter. But I think somewhere around Street Fighter Alpha or something,
Yeah.
I lost. The 2D sprite fighters don't really hold my attention.
Yeah.
The over the top stuff, and you'll hit the button 5 times and it becomes a 60 hit combo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you throw them up in the air into space, and some giant spaceship comes and shoots them, and they lose a quarter of their health. I just can't. I can't do it.
You summed it up well.
Yeah.
One thing I'm gonna have a lot of fun with Soul Calibur. I'll just say this because that's never really a game I devoted or invest in a whole lot. Is I do real well. I do real well if I got somebody or some people around me that are really into it, and if they're pushing too, and then you start talking game and start talking garbage, and we got like rival. All right, like I'm there.
You're dead.
I'm gonna have to work on
doubly
this.
dead if they put in the guy who uses a tree as a weapon.
Yeah.
And I'll yell that the whole time. Tree.
Tree.
I'll yell the whole time I'm killing you with a tree.
This is gonna be fun. Good deal.
And when you think you got it figured out, I'll switch to Taki.
Getting in my head, trying to psych me out. All right. Other than that, heads up on Sony's presence at E3 this year.
Hold on. I
What?
should probably comment on Bloodstained and not be a complete jackass about it.
What? Just like run over it like you did? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I obviously knew nothing about this. I thought, you showed this to me, so, getting an outsider's perspective. The first thing when I watched the video you gave me, and I'm watching the 8-bit, I'm like, this isn't the game, is it? I mean, that's cool if people really love this game, but I'm just like, geez, for a Kickstarter, I was kind of expecting more than this. But then you showed me the actual game, and it looks good. And coming out with a little version like that is fun. That's neat.
Yeah.
That being said, again, 2D side-scrolling sprites. I will get into some of them, like going back old school, Symphony of the Night, which is just one of the best games ever made.
Classic.
But most of the time, this stuff just, I don't know, something about the style or whatever. This doesn't really grab me, but it's an absolutely beautiful game. It looks like it plays really solid. Good. I hope he makes lots and lots of money.
Good stuff. All right. Now, about Sony at E3. We've got a little bit of advance notice here. This was actually from Sony's chair, the chair of Sony Interactive Worldwide, Sean Layden. He's already starting to telegraph news of what's going to be at Sony's panel at the forefront. Way less on hardware this time and more on games. It looks like Spider-Man reboot, Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, and
Don't care.
Ghost of Tsushima
What the hell is that?
are going to take center stage. And I didn't even know what Ghost of Tsushima was at first. In fact, I think there was a short game spot link in that I was giving you with some gameplay and stuff. This one has been in the works for a bit. It sort of reminded me of Left Alive very start of it, except it has little to do with piloting giant mecha or fighting against him. Just the style of it really
Hmm.
reminded me of that. So, but yeah, that's kind of uh, a ghost agent kind of sneaking in that I didn't expect to be with these. But hey, these are some big time titles we've been looking at, especially Last of Us 2 and Spider-Man. I think uh, some of the show stealing games that are shaping up here are probably right in that first lineup. Spider-Man, Last of Us 2, and if the Kingdom Hearts 3 gets actually a release date for this year, which I think it will. I'm already betting it's going to be. I think E3 is going to be
Hey,
announced.
hey!
We'll see.
Wait a second. There's a chance they may not even actually release that this year.
There's a chance.
Okay, then we need to amend our bet.
Oh,
Okay, if that thing does not actually release in 2018, I win by default.
well, no, that's not amending. That's still sticking to the bet. No, that's part of it. The thing
Is that
was,
part of the bet?
yeah, it has to come out this year. It has
Okay.
to. If it's
'Cause
not out this year, you
I
win.
know it had to be quality and not full of bugs and stuff.
Oh yeah, I take that for
Okay.
granted. Yeah, it has to actually exist. So,
Okay, well then I was smart to do that,
yeah.
even though I didn't remember it.
Oh
Okay.
man, no.
All right then, never mind.
But
And feel free to cut that part out if you want.
yeah, you want your crunch punch or
That's
your
right.
yeah. Wait,
No, bunch of
I
crunch.
said that wrong. Yeah, I was thinking the
What'd you say,
popcorn.
munch and crunch?
Crunch and but whatever that popcorn was, crunch and munch, crunch and munch. You remember that?
I want my bunch of crunch, and I want it for Soul Calibur. So I'm gonna eat it while we're playing. And, dude, I'm destroying you, Taki.
Oh man. Who am I? I don't know. Who should I train to take you apart with? Probably Siegfried, something like that.
Oh, well, that's my third guy. So
Oh, all right, all right.
actually,
All
I've
right.
always switched between Siegfried and Nightmare. They're very similar, obviously, but
Cool.
that was my number 3. I don't think it will be this time though. I don't know. I've always liked the big heavy hitter like that. You know, the
Yeah.
slow and with the big weapon, a
No,
little bit of a glass cannon with Siegfried.
I like his. I mean, I like his style. I loved his stances and like the stance preps you do to like launch. You know, some of attacks or like some of his attacks are big launchers. That was really cool. He reminded me a lot of Guts from Berserk, but that's another story. But yeah,
So I've been hearing rumors. I really haven't had a lot of time to follow gaming for the last couple months or so, but I've been hearing rumors of PS5.
there's rumblings about it.
Yeah, do you think that this is a bit of a misdirect, especially when you said that they're saying that this is going to be software heavy?
Right. I think it is. I think there's a very low chance of this being a conference to sort of slide PS5 under the railing. You know,
You
we
don't,
see it.
okay. I would hope not either with this kind of
Yeah.
lineup too, especially with the fucking momentum they have with God of War right now.
Oh, holy crap! Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
would you even talk about the next gen when, yeah, I mean, when you're talking about Spider-Man and Last of Us,
Yeah.
some people care about Death Stranding. I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
I don't care if it has Norman Reedus in it. That game looks stupid as fuck.
Oh man, that was isn't that's is that Konami, right? I think we were talking
Oh,
about
is that not Sony? Then why are they even talking about it?
No. As far as no, wait. Hideo Kojima more. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Because he left
Oh, that's right. He was. Yeah. Okay.
he
I thought I
was.
had
He
that.
was. Yeah, my bad.
I mean, I'm sorry. And don't even get me started on the Metal Gear story. But
Metal Gear.
I don't look. It just feels like, and I'm not even sure how you can do that considering it's all computer generated, but it just feels like overhyped CGI garbage. Is that a baby down your throat?
You're killing me?
No, seriously though, there's something about the look and the feel of that trailer that just didn't grab me in a way that some kind of psycho thriller movie like that should.
Well, it was hard to discern what that was even, what that's even about.
Yeah. Well,
So-
that's not what bothers me though. I mean, because that's very Silent Hill, and
Yeah.
I can dig that, but it just felt like they just turned it through its usual production of. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't. I just didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Just in the production that it was given to me. The
Right.
concept is fine. I don't know.
Maybe well, maybe you'll be left alive. We'll leave it at that.
Nah.
I'm gonna laugh if we hear more about that. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that, just in case we hear anything. But
I'm keeping an eye out for the new Armored Core.
right?
You know it's going to be there.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Like, didn't you hear about the pre-release notes? Like, AC6 is gonna be a thing.
No. Someday.
Yeah, someday.
In their dreams.
Yeah. Golden.
I can't believe the string that they're using to hook those motherfuckers hasn't broke yet.
Oh, the string's strong, man. They're pulling that chain. Oh golly.
Yeah.
Um,
They should be ashamed of themselves.
yeah, laughing and crying. But no, seriously, there's a wealth of golden opportunities that just never got seized with AC. Never did, and won't. So, all right. On that sad note, it's time for an info minute. Well, info feed is all about rights. It's all about copyright, all about image rights, all that good stuff. You know, we talk about this a lot. The show. In fact, we've even run into it ourselves. Who was that? What was it? Universal? One of our videos.
Oh my gosh, who was that?
Someone got in our case.
I don't remember. Yeah, we got one of our Jagged Edge episodes, which is still down because we had a picture of RoboCop.
Yep. Or 20 cent, whoever that was, but
that wasn't. That wasn't found by algorithms either.
Right.
They actually found it and
took the time
to complain.
Yeah.
Now that makes me want to find out who that was. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Someone has.
We're still very much in the dark recesses of YouTube. So
yes, we are.
I mean, for them to find that,
hats off to you. But this little legal battle is between Dr. Dre and Dr. Dry, MD. This actually happened last week. That Dr. Dryon M. Birch, aka Dr. Dry, won a 3-year legal battle that he's been fighting against Dr. Dre ever since 2015. I didn't even know this was a thing. The whole fight was over the name. He wanted to trademark his name, which he was going to use for seminars and other like medical meetings and stuff like that for the books that he sells. He's already done over 20, at least I think 20 books or so about just all kinds of medical issues and things like that. So part of the reason he won was because he argued like, hey, look, Dr. Dre is not an MD. He's not even qualified for any kind of medical service or anything in the medical industry, and I'm not trying to be him. He also testified that, look, Dr. Dre's reputation is not something I'm looking to add to what I have. Like, I have nothing about him I want to add to my whole practice. But in fact, he was pretty appalled by that. So, the board ended up dismissing Dr. Dre's opposition to it, saying that, hey, look, we got no evidence demonstrating that this guy is trying to cut in on any of what your consumer is going to be taking in, parties, goods, services, anything you'd be selling. It's just not happening. Now, the only way Dr. Dry could screw this up is he doesn't have complete carte blanche. Now, if he goes and decides to start rapping about his MD, okay, that's a different thing. Then we could get back into weird legal waters again. But for now, he's fine.
He probably will be fine too. Yeah, this is you see these things pop up all the time. I mean, I've known about this for these types of copyright laws for years. Like our show name, the Jagged Edge.
Mm-hmm.
That could be referred to for a lot of things.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean that we can own anything called the Jagged Edge. Like if there's a cereal that comes out and wants to be called the Jagged Edge, I'm not sure why they'd want to do that. I'm not sure why you'd want to eat it. but if somebody did, there could be no dispute on copyrights where two completely different entities working in completely different worlds. You can't just own the name outright.
Right.
And in that case, where both their names are legitimate, actually, is Dr. Dre, is that his actual name? The artist?
No. Well,
no. Okay. But that doesn't necessarily matter. But the other guy, the actual doctor, he actually has significant claim to that because that is his actual name.
Right. And, and Dr. Dre himself, I think his full name is it's actually Andre Ramel.
Sure.
So.
But he's obviously an established artist for decades now. So
right.
I would think that a judge would throw that out. There would be if the artist was trying to prevent him from using his real name
right.
to try to expand his medical practice and how he can profit from it in a way that is in no way hindering the artist's genre and where he has his stuff. There's absolutely no reason for this. This is
the case was light in the first place. I think the only thing Dre himself was, the only thing he was saying was, well, people could get confused,
Yeah. Well, and there is precedent for that a little bit. I mean, I used to get confused when I was little about well, I get confused now.
I'm already liking where you're going.
I got confused. I got confused about our Bunch of Crunch bet from 10 minutes ago.
You did.
But no, I used to get confused about the WWF when I was a kid.
Right.
Because I'm a child of the '80s. Mm-hmm. As far as I knew, WWF was World Wrestling Federation. That was all it was. But every once in a while, I'd see some poster or some ad that said WWF, and like they'd have pictures of tigers and panda bears, and I'd be like, "What?"
What?
But this actually turned into a real lawsuit.
Yeah.
This actually turned into a real thing. Ironically, for the World Wildlife Fund, suing the wrestling company for rights to the name, and they won.
Wow. That I never knew about.
You didn't know about that?
No, man.
You didn't realize why WWF turned to WWE?
No. Seriously, like I knew about the whole wildlife thing. I didn't even know that was a whole.
Their campaign was "Get the F out." You didn't realize that,
dude. Okay, let me real quick. Let me track back through my whole wrestling track. So, I was zoned in during, I guess, 96, 97. All right, on WWF and stuff like that. And then I had this period where Click just tuned out a bit. I think it happened a bit after I went overseas. About a year after that, I was just kind of disconnected, and I came back and everything was disjointed. And I lost track of it forever.
Everybody watched the Monday Night Wars. That was ridiculous.
Dude, Monday Night Raw, man.
Oh, Nitro, man.
Oh, Nitro. Oh, yeah, it became a thing when they all merged. Wait, was that like once they merged?
Oh my god. No.
I told you I'm out of it, man. Chill out. Like
you are very out of it. No, but yeah, I mean the ratings that they used to produce back then, God, there are TV producers who would like kill legions of people to get those kind of ratings.
Yeah.
They would sacrifice virgins for that.
Man, that's deep.
Yeah. Ironically, they actually did that on WWF TV. But no, yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah, WWF sued them, the World Wildlife Fund, sued them, and in one of the stupidest things ever, for some reason, the ginormous wrestling company whose boss was known as his daughter was known as the $1 billion princess.
Yep.
They had legit billions.
Yep.
Lost.
Boom.
And from here on, for the rest of eternity, anything that is old footage pre that court date, they have to, if they're going to sell or produce anything out of that old footage, they have to blur the WWF logo.
Wow. They
got T-shirts, all of it.
They got rocked.
They did. They got rocked hard.
So,
anyways,
that's going to do it for us for now. So, thank you all for listening. Be sure to stay tuned. Still going to have our reviews we're cranking out. Legion, we're in the twilight for that. I'm hoping it doesn't let me down. Of course, we're still doing. Wow, I was about to say Left 4 Dead. And we're totally not.
We are in Fear the Walking Dead.
Fear the Walking Dead.
Nick is dead.
Nick's dead?
Yeah. Do you know who Nick is from Fear?
Yes.
He's dead.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, that's dark. And
this is dark.
That's dark, dude.
Zombie apocalypse show, a little dark.
DC dark, yeah. That's Jason's still covering each of those with you, right?
Oh my god, yeah, I couldn't do it without him. I can't. Yeah.
Good
You don't want to hear my reviews by me or by myself. I need somebody with me, that's for sure. I'm barely tolerable when I have somebody doing something with me.
Especially when you're hyped up on nerds. Like today.
No, I've been coming down on those for a little while.
No, you're all right. You're right now, but no, that we're about to. We've had a bit of a lull period with some of our movies, but we're gonna have a busy June, and then we got some stuff coming up at the end of this month too, especially Star Wars and Deadpool.
Deadpool next week.
All right,
less than a week away.
Woo! That's gonna be hype.
Excited.
So I'll be there for that one. We have to figure out Star Wars, like I was saying. I think I'm gonna be out on that, but. That might you might end up soloing that unless you want to. Yeah, so funny.
Play on words and
yeah. So
yeah, that's all right. I'll do without you. You don't understand Star Wars anyways.
Oh, you go curl up with that Rian Johnson anger.
It's a what?
I said Rian Johnson. I corrected myself. Ryan Johnson.
Oh, Ryan Johnson.
Ruin Johnson. My bad. Anyway,
we'll see. We'll see. Can they recover?
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever. I don't think that franchise will ever be invincible again. But
there's holes.
Well, I guess they weren't in the first place, were they?
They weren't. They never.
I guess not when you kill Luke Skywalker like that. You dumb motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. Not that it matters. Not that it matters that Luke is alive, because they can just take a spaceship and hyperdrive that fucking thing through anything and destroy it.
Catch Chris's Rage Part 86, our next review.
I hope not. I hope you enjoy Solo. I hope it's good. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Hey, it's Ron Howard, and I'm always up for a Ron Howard movie. And even though it looks like I forget his name, the guy who's playing Solo, he's not looking so great. The rest of it looks really good. What you were mentioning earlier about Lando, I hope he does steal the show.
Yeah.
Him and Chewie.
Woo.
I hope they steal it. It was just announced that we're going to get some kind of surprise appearance from somebody from the prequels that's going to blow our minds.
Oh.
Yeah. The fact that they see the prequel trilogies was interesting about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'll do that one by myself.
All right.
Whatever.
All right.
I'm babbling now. I'm rambling at the end again.
That's going to do it for us, people. Thank you again, and take it easy. Hey, people. Thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, there anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksawmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.